And today we're going to be doing a deep dive into something that I think we've all probably struggled with at some point, and that is the temptation of online shopping.
Oh, yeah, that's so true. I think we can all relate to that a little bit.
Especially, I feel like nowadays it's just so easy. You can just be sitting on the couch watching TV and just, boom, you've bought three new shirts and you don't even know how it happened.
Yeah, it just kind of sneaks up on you.
Yeah. So to help us with this topic, we've got a short little conversation, two people talking about online shopping, and one of them kind of struggling with how much they've been doing it.
So let's jump right into the dialogue and see what they have to say.
All right. So I'll be reading the first part.
Got it.
Okay. So I bought more clothes online yesterday.
Again. Didn't you say you wanted to stop?
I tried, but it's really addictive.
Maybe you should delete the shopping apps from your phone.
I've done that before, but I reinstalled them.
You could set a weekly spending limit.
That's a good idea. I never thought about that.
Also, wait 24 hours before buying something.
You think that will help?
Yes. It gives you time to decide if you really need it.
I'll try your advice. Thanks.
No problem. Let me know how it goes.
All right, so that was our little back and forth there. And I don't know about you, but I feel like I've been in both of those positions at various points in my life.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I think we can all relate to kind of that impulse buying and then maybe having a little bit of regret afterwards.
Absolutely. So to help us out, especially if you're new to English, we wanted to break down a few of the words and phrases that we just heard in that dialogue.
Great idea. So why don't we start with the word addictive?
Okay, so addictive. This is what Alice says, right?
Exactly. He said it's really addictive when he's talking about online shopping.
And so what that means is that it's something that is very hard to stop doing, even if you know you should stop.
Yeah, it's like you really want to keep doing it, even if it's not the best thing for you.
And so we can use this word to talk about all sorts of things, like video games.
Oh, yeah. Video games can be so addictive.
Definitely. Or like, sugary drinks like soda or something.
Yeah, you can get addicted to pretty much anything.
So just to give you another example sentence, we could say, shopping online is very addictive.
And that's exactly what you're talking about today.
Okay, so moving on to the next word, we have reinstall.
Reinstall. This was when Alex was talking about how he deleted the shopping apps, but then he put them back on his phone.
Right. So, he's trying to resist the temptation, but then he just can't help himself. He puts them right back on there.
And to break down the word a little bit, install means to put something on your phone or your computer.
Right. And that re at the beginning means to do it again.
Exactly. So to reinstall means to install again.
And so we could use that in a sentence like, I reinstalled the shopping apps on my phone.
So that's what Alex did. He tried to get rid of them, but he couldn't resist putting them back on.
Okay, so next up we have the phrase spending limit.
Oh, this is a good one. Spending limit. This is what Ellis suggests to Alex, right?
Yeah, she says, you could set a weekly spending limit.
So spending, that's the money that you use to buy things.
Right, like how much you're actually spending.
And then limit means the maximum amount.
Right, you can't go over that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you put those two words together, a spending limit is the maximum amount of money you're allowed to spend.
And so in this case, she's suggesting a weekly spending limit.
So every week you say, okay, this is the most I'm going to spend, and that's it.
So for example, we could say, you should set a spending limit every week.
That's a good way to stay on track.
All right, so the last word that we wanted to look at is advice.
Oh, advice. This is a really important one.
Yeah, because, when you're talking about problems and solutions, you're often giving advice.
Exactly. And advice is when you tell someone what you think they should do.
Right. It's like a helpful suggestion to try to solve a problem.
So in the dialogue, Ella says, I'll try your advice. Thanks.
And so when we're talking about advice, we often use that phrase, thanks for your advice.
It's a really polite and useful phrase to know.
Okay, so now that we've kind of broken down some of those words and phrases from the dialogue, let's look at some of those key phrases for giving and receiving advice.
That's a great idea because those are the kind of phrases you can use in all sorts of everyday conversations.
Yeah, definitely. So one of the first ones that we hear is, maybe you should.
Yeah, Alex says, maybe you should delete the shopping apps from your phone.
And so that's a really good way to kind of gently offer a suggestion to someone.
It's not too strong. It's just like, hey, maybe this could help.
Yeah. And so we can use that phrase in lots of different situations,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. For example, if someone's having trouble sleeping, you could say, maybe you should try drinking some warm milk before bed.
That's a good one. Or like if someone's feeling stressed, you could say, maybe you should take a break and go for a walk.
Exactly. It's a really versatile phrase.
Okay, so another phrase that Alex uses is you could.
Yeah, he says, you could set a weekly spending limit.
And this is another way to just kind of offer a possibility or suggestion.
Right. It's a little bit more open-ended than maybe you should.
Yeah, so like if someone's looking for a new hobby, you could say, you could try taking a painting class.
Or you could join a book club.
Exactly. So those are both good ways of using that phrase.
Now, when Alex suggests the weekly spending limit, Ella says, that's a good idea.
And that's such a simple but important phrase to know.
Yeah, it's just a really easy way to show that you agree with someone's suggestion.
And you can use it in all sorts of situations.
Definitely, if someone recommends a restaurant, you could say, that's a good idea. I've heard good things about that place.
Yeah. Or if they suggest a movie to watch, you could say, that's a good idea. I've been wanting to see that.
Simple but effective.
Okay, so another phrase that we hear is, do you think that will help?
Yeah, this is when Elle is asking Alex for reassurance about his suggestion.
Right, so she's saying, okay, you've given me this advice, but do you actually think it's going to work?
And it's a good way to kind of get a second opinion.
So, if someone suggests you try a new study method, you could say, do you think that will help me get better grades?
Or if someone recommends a new exercise routine, you could say, do you think that will help me lose weight?
Exactly. It's a good way to just kind of double check.
And then finally, at the end of the conversation, Ella says, thanks for your advice.
And this is so important to remember to do.
Yeah, you always want to show appreciation when someone has taken the time to give you advice.
And it doesn't have to be anything fancy. Just a simple thanks for your advice is perfect.
All right, so as you can see in that short conversation, there's a lot of really useful phrases that you can use in your everyday English conversations.
Yeah, and the great thing is that you can use these phrases in all sorts of situations, not just when you're talking about online shopping.
Exactly, they're really versatile.
Okay, so just to help you remember all of these great words and phrases that we've talked about, we're going to play that dialogue one more time.
Great idea. And this time, try to really listen for those key words and phrases.
All right, so I'll be Alex again, and Ella will be Ella.
Here we go.
I bought more clothes online yesterday.
Again? Didn't you say you wanted to stop?
I tried, but it's really addictive.
Maybe you should delete the shopping apps from your phone.
I've done that before, but I reinstalled them.
You could set a weekly spending limit.
That's a good idea. I never thought about that.
Also, wait 24 hours before buying something.
Do you think that will help?
Yes. It gives you time to decide if you really need it.
I'll try your advice. Thanks.
No problem. Let me know how it goes.
All right, so that wraps up our deep dive into this everyday conversation about online shopping.
We hope this has given you some useful words and phrases that you can start using in your own English conversations.
And remember, even if you're not struggling with online shopping, you can use these phrases to talk about all sorts of different problems and solutions.
Absolutely, so get creative with it.
And if you enjoyed this deep dive and you want to keep learning English with us, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel.
That way you'll be notified whenever we release a new episode.
And as always, we want to leave you with something to think about.
So here's a question for you. What's one thing that you sometimes buy online that you don't really need?
And using the phrases that we talked about today, what's one piece of advice that someone could give you to help you resist that temptation?
Think about it. And maybe try using those phrases in a conversation with a friend.
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. We'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Thanks for joining the conversation here at Kaz English. We hope you found it fun and informative. Don't forget to check out kazapp.uk. That's kazapp.uk for more tips, resources, and interactive practice. Keep exploring, keep chatting, and we'll catch up with you again soon.